I'm going to give you 3 strategies as a leader to deal with innovation or to think about ways of activities to deal with innovation. You have to excuse me, I'm just out camping and I just wanted to do this video. I was thinking about these 3 strategies in terms of how might you practice and get good at this. If you don't know who I am Professor Dave Massac. I'm an associate professor of innovation. And I was thinking about the 3 things that are critically important for innovation, particularly as leaders, so that they can get practice with it. So these 3 things that I think are critically important for developing good leaders. The first one is persistence. The other one is dealing with awkwardness and feeling the awkwardness. And then the third thing is dealing with failure. And those 3 things, if you're able to practice those, they're going to help you a lot with innovation. They're going to make sure that you can deal with a lot of things. Now there's lots of ways in terms of we think about this on the business side of innovation. I'm not really going to get so much onto those in terms of thinking about financing, thinking about, making sure that you have adequate Slack resources, those kind of things. But these 3 things I think are incredibly important as you as a manager and how other people are going to deal with that. So the first thing that I want you to think about is consistency and thinking about the sort of longevity or durability, whatever you want to call it, of doing innovation, because things take a long time. And this is what I would get you to do. I would get you to write down something that is really, really simple that you would like to work on, right? But it's something that doesn't necessarily happen overnight. So it could be something like learning a language, for example. And I want you to get practice on getting a streak or doing something for a while consistently, right? So maybe it's planning to do a walk and you want to do a walk every day and you plan to do a 10-minute walk. Or you learn a language and you do it every single day for the next 30 days. I want you to get that feeling of consistency that you have to do something every day and when you don't want to do it. That's an important thing. It has to be long enough that you start feeling the pain of actually not wanting to do that particular thing. So 30 days I think is good. If you could do 60 or 90 days, it's better. Something that you could repeat, and it doesn't have to be a lot of work, but probably take 15-20 minutes of your time, and you have to repeat it every single day. One exercise that is really good that I think is beautiful is to write for 90 days something that you're thankful for and send it off to people, right? Like write a letter to somebody. Find a letter every day that you're going to write, and it's beautiful, and you're going to be completely different after you do this if you write a letter every single day. Now, the next thing is you have to get okay with rejection. So find an exercise where you can practice repeatedly with rejection, whether it is asking people for money, whether it's going out in a public space for money and asking people. Maybe you try that on a weekend where you try to panhandle, for example, or you try to be, you try to do like busking, for example, and you try that. And I want you to get the practice of rejection, right? And if you can get the practice of rejection, you will be pretty far along in terms of doing this. So figure out something that's going to give you rejection, some sort of exercise. Now, the third thing that I think is incredibly important is awkward and being awkward and feeling that awkward feeling that we all feel. Whatever it might be, I want you to get used to that, right? So figure out what makes you feel awkward and go do that particular thing. Maybe it is going and, maybe you're a guy and you don't like to show off like your belly too much or something like that. Well, then figure out to wear a t-shirt, right? And so that you are awkwardly displaying something that's really minor, and practice this, right? Like practice these things where you're doing stuff that's uncomfortable and that are awkward and that you're getting some sort of consistency, but at the same time that there is longevity. Now, if you were to practice these things and you get in the practice of doing it, you get comfortable with that awkward space of what innovation is all about. Innovation tends to be often about rejection. There is a lot of rejection involved. It tends to be about doing things repeatedly for a long time. There's a lot of repetition, and you come down that what's called coming down the learning curve, and you get better and better and better until maybe something gets it works. The learning curve is essential to innovation and much of what we understand it. Um, and then as well, it's not only about awkward, but dealing with rejection repeatedly and getting okay with that rejection. If you listen to anybody's story of people that are in innovation, they will tell you about the rejections that they have. It is very, very odd for somebody to do really well very quickly, right? And it requires a tremendous amount of rejection until something actually clicks. And so if you want to develop leadership with anybody that is going to go into innovation, find these exercises, find things that are really simple that you can do so you get into the practice of feeling the awkwardness, and then feeling a little bit of despair because it takes a little bit of time, right? Like something that is consistent. Getting in those moments where you get rejection and dealing with rejection and figuring out how to respond in a polite and helpful way with rejection, right? Instead of being, digging in your heels, realizing say thank you for that rejection that you have and really feel it. Get to those moments where you actually feel good about it. And if you practice this repeatedly and you do this, something's going to click inside of you where you are going to get some understanding for being a good leader of people that are doing innovation. I want you to think about this. If you can put yourself into somebody else's shoes and be empathetic of how they're feeling in the innovation process, you're likely going to do something incredible and you can lead them in a much better way. So getting that empathetic practice is essential to develop the leadership abilities for innovation. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.